At 12:01 on January 20th, which is Monday, Donald Trump will once again live in the White House. And part of his job, along with Congress's, is to ensure national security is intact. And part of a larger narrative surrounding TikTok is about national security. There's also a free speech element, and I don't know exactly where I stand on banning TikTok. I think there's absolutely legitimate intelligence that I'm not privy to, being in my civilian capacity. I no longer have a top secret clearance like I did when I was in the Marine Corps. But I think there's absolutely an argument to be made that it makes America less safe, having Chinese influence into our very phones and our lives. I think there's something to be said there. Now, do we need to ban it outright? I don't know. I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I don't know that I really care a great deal. But national security should be something that is taken into account with this. Free speech should be taken into account when having a conversation about banning TikTok. It seems, though, that all of these arguments are far, far less important to MAGA, to Donald Trump, to Donald Trump supporters than how much TikTok impacted Donald Trump. How much TikTok was a tool and was valuable to Donald Trump in perpetrating propaganda and allowing him to win the election this past November. And this isn't just speculation on my part. Mike Waltz, former congressman, is the incoming national security advisor to Donald Trump. Donald Trump always picking the best people. Remember, General Mike Flynn, the disgraced liar, General Mike Flynn, brought up on charges for lying to the FBI about Donald Trump's contacts inauguration the first time, talking to the Russians, and then lied about it to the FBI. We don't know why we'd lie about it if it's totally on the up and up, right? Anyway, Mike Waltz is the new incoming national security advisor, and he was on Fox News talking about the need to keep TikTok, the need to not ban TikTok. And it wasn't about free speech, didn't make an argument about free speech, didn't make an argument about national security. He just made the argument that it's just good for Donald Trump. Watch this.
Could have an executive order to save the platform. I know a lot of people don't like it, national security concerns, but there are 170 million Americans who use it. So what's going to happen to it?
Well, President Trump, and this is in line with the legislation, we will put measures in place to keep TikTok from going dark. In the legislation allows for an extension as long as a viable deal is on the table. And then, essentially that buys President Trump time to keep TikTok going. It's been a great platform for him and his campaign to get his America First message out. But at the same time, he wants to protect their data. Conservatives don't want the FBI, and they certainly don't want the Chinese communists getting their passwords, getting their data, and being able to overly influence the American people.
It's been a great platform for Donald Trump and his campaign to get the America First message out. No talk from the national security advisor about how it would impact national security. No. Not this former high-ranking Army official, I believe he was in the Army. No talk of that from him. No talk about free speech and the constitutional implications of banning a platform that people use readily on a daily basis to exercise their freedom of speech under the Constitution of the United States and our First Amendment. No talk of that. Only talk about how the dear leader has been impacted by the use of TikTok, how it benefited Donald Trump getting the America First racist, white supremacist message out. This is all that you need to know about the priorities of the Republican Party under Donald Trump, that it has nothing to do with what makes the country better. It has nothing to do with what makes the country stronger. It's only about how Donald Trump has benefited. Because in the first Trump administration, he was gangbusters on banning TikTok. He wanted it gone. But now he's all about keeping it because it benefits him. It helps him. And if he can bend ByteDance, the owners of TikTok, to his will, if he can cause them to bend the knee, like Elon Musk has done, like Mark Zuckerberg has done, like Jeff Bezos has done, and the myriad other billionaires who have come and kissed the ring. I don't know if it's the ring on Donald Trump's finger or, again, like I've said in the past, the one between his ass cheeks. I don't know. But Donald Trump will bend his even previously held convictions on national security and policy matters to whatever benefits him personally. Just like all of the retribution talk with Donald Trump. It's all about personal grievance. It's about how things have impacted him personally. And that is not a way to run a country. That's not a way to run the flag up the pole and see which way the wind is blowing it, and then based on how it impacts you, run the country. He has an obligation, a sworn oath, to faithfully execute the laws, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yet he, being that domestic threat to the Constitution he said he has every right to terminate because the 2020 election was stolen from him, all based on lies, all based on personal grievance of how he thinks things should have gone differently for him, his election outcomes, his legal consequence that he was facing. And everybody from the National Security Advisor on down are here to implement that comfort level for him, even if it impacts you, even if it violates your constitutional rights, even if it makes your security posture worsened because of allowing TikTok to stay. Again, I don't have an official, but like I have official positions, but I don't have a position on it. I can go either way. I see the arguments on both sides. I don't think it's a clear-cut case either way. Donald Trump doesn't care about any clear-cut case, though. He cares about what impacts him. And the people around him will make that into policy. Anyway, I'm curious what you think. I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Please, if you are or have been thinking about supporting this work, if there's independent media out there that's more important to you than me, support them. But if I am that guy, click the join button below, see what's involved to become a channel member. $2 a month. You can help support and produce this work. Even better, though, you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. We've been with Patreon long enough that we're grandfathered into the old way that they do the money, and they take a lot less than YouTube. So I would appreciate that, your consideration in that very much. Follow me on social media. I'm on TikTok @Dollemore, but I'm also on Blue Sky and all the others, and I'd love it if you'd follow me there for as long as TikTok's around @Dollemore. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.